Thank you, Ashokji. You just didn't say no pressure. You have put such a load on me. Oh my God. I must have done something good today. No, thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
we are not supposed to expect anything more than this. You are already been giving so much to us. Okay, so we are not asking anything more than this. Thank you, sir.
The masters, it's a two-way traffic, and it helps me as well as I share with others. So that's the beauty, and it just like a snowball effect. So again, namaskar, everyone, and thanks, masters, joining directly or indirectly with the YouTube or recording. You bring questions, you bring energy to the whole group. And today you will see that we are continuing with our journey of Panchbhutas, if I may put it that way, so that we connect the dots, so that we understand why meditation, why pranayam, how does it work, what is the background. We talked about a lot of things in quantum physics, but still there is a lot to be learned, discussed, and you will see today in the continuation. So I will start sharing my screen, and if you recall the last week's session that we had, we talked about something which you will see how it is connected to our topic today, but it will come in the very last slide. So we talked about, the prana vayu, udana vayu, samana vayu, vyana vayu, and apana vayu. So you will see how it is connected, and then why we are talking about it. So let me share. All right. So continuing, and we'll be talking about three doshas. And it's a wonderful topic. It will bring us, again, in connection to where we left last week. And it won't be done in one session. So we will see what we will continue, where we leave, like in the next session. But yeah, great thanks to Dr. Sumit Kesarkar, very good kind of, again, master. The way, certain people explain, it really helps others to learn. Just like in quantum physics, I say Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it beautifully. Similarly, this topic, or in general, when we talk of Ayurveda, when we talk of our, the culture as such, we say these are thousands of years old, nothing new. But we are just discovering, we are learning now. We may have heard the things, and at least that's the journey for me. And individually, in your case, may be different. So let's talk about these doshas. And when we talk about doshas, yes, they are basic concept of Ayurveda. They are the three energetic forces that really controls the activity and governs the physical, the mental, intellectual structure and functioning of an individual. So pretty much you can see that they are the governing force. They are that important. Now, if something is that important, shouldn't we know about it? Because if we do not know about it, how can we work along with it? How can we work or choose a lifestyle which is in line with that energy? So that is the fundamental thing, that what kind of routine, what kind of lifestyle we have picked. Are we in line with the nature, in line with the universe, we call whether circadian rhythm, circadian cycle, so that we can use our mind and bodies, right, to a more balanced, productive lifestyle. We are healthy, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and then we can really be less stressful and we can enjoy the life better. So when we are going along with it, rather than unknowingly you go against it, you create heavy resistance in your life, and then we wonder why our life is so stressful. So if we get into detail of these doshas, and when we say these tridosha, so these three, whichever way we put it. So let's see why, first of all, we are talking about doshas. What is it? So dosha means which changes. Now, it can be regarded as a fault, as a mistake, because that's what dosha means. Now, they are constantly moving and they are in dynamic balance with each other. So they are not totally independent, they are related, they are linked with each other. And these three dosha we say is vata, pitta, and kapha. These are the three. Now, very simply we say, yeah, tridosha or vata, pitta, kapha, and they govern everything. They are so important that our life is totally in their hands. So simply said, let's get into some more details that when we say error or mistake, they are balanced. So if we go step more, so we talked about Panchbhutas. So you can see these doshas are also coming from Panchbhutas. Panchbhutas, fundamental block of our life. We are made out of Panchbhutas. So if you look at Vata, it's Akash and Vayu combination. If you look at Pitta, it's fire and water. And if you look at Kapha, it's water and air. Now, is it that simple? So you see the Vata is, yes, is the force conceptually made of these elements, Akash and Vayu. The proportion of these, what is the ratio between this Akash and the Vayu, determines how active your Vata is. Now, the amount of Akash affects the ability of the motion to gain momentum. If unrestricted, like as an ocean, Vata can gain momentum. It can become forceful like a hurricane. Pitta, which is Pitta combination of fire and water, it represents transformation. Transformation of raw substance to a state that is identifiable by the body. Like example, you take heat is transforming seawater into rain. The whole cycle of evaporation, it goes, condensate, it comes as a rain. But that's the transformation. Now, when you talk of kapha, conceptually, equilibrium of water and earth, it is structure and lubrication. This is the force which keeps the planets in their orbit. And this is the whole, like, it's not just our life, but basically the entire universe. So it's not just related to our life, but the whole balance, the mechanism. I mean, you may say that, okay, this universe is moving. We know that planets and all heavenly bodies, they're rotating around. In our case, Milky Way, we say, okay, all the planets are rotating around the sun. Where does this energy come from? How does this mechanism work? This is the same energy we are talking about. So it impacts us. And it is also applicable to those planets and the whole Milky Way. Now, if we also see the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, it's so important that 80 types of possible, you can say, the disturbances, and they're, scored by Vata. So you can imagine that how important Vata is if you are getting 80 possible. Pitta is giving us, say, 40 types, and Kapha 20 types. So you can see if Vata is giving 80, which is more than 50% of combined Pitta and Kapha. So how important Vata will be. And that is why you will see that why we are, not that we are neglecting the other two, but why Vata is so much of concern. Or you can say the other way around, why it has such a big impact in our life. If Vata goes out of balance, then it will cause you much more harm just because its impact is much more than 50% of the combine of the other two. So that is the reason that we say, okay, why we are looking into this and why it's important to understand not only where they are coming from, but their impact. Now, we will not get into the details today, but it's also related to the gunas. So Rajas is dominated in Vata, Sattva is dominated in Pitta, and Tamas is dominated in Kapha. Again, it's information that, okay, when we look from different perspective, how they are related, how you can analyze your body type, your own particular situation, because no two person are same. So everybody is different, but the mechanism is same. The way these energies, these forces function, that is same for all of us. That does not change. Now, what are these mechanisms? So if we really see, it is such simple thing, but a beautiful thing. Any organism you see, you could say that this concept of Tridosha is fundamental system of regulating, control all form of life on earth. Now, not only all form of life on earth, we talked about these planets and everything, so it's much more than that. But there are three basic functions which every living cells will display, every organism will display. First is input-output mechanism. That means you have absorption and excretion. So you have input, you ate something, body will take that as an input, it will absorb, and then it will excrete what the body does not need, like a waste, elimination, right? That's one. Then comes transformation of input into output. And then the third one is storage or backup of nutrients to ensure smooth flow of its work. That's third. So you have one input-output mechanism, one transformation mechanism, and one you are storing, you produce, you transform something, you produce some energy, right? In different way, you can biologically or scientifically, you can term them, but that transformed energy will be either stored, like, the backup that our body does so that it can function. So each cell intake food, converts into nutrients and throws away the waste. This nutrient, which is converted, is then intelligently used and stored accordingly. So when you eat, the body will convert because there is glucose, there is carbohydrate, there is so much of thing, but ultimately body converts it into the energy units. So these three processes require some kind of mechanism. It is happening all three. We are eating, so input, output. You are transforming, because without that, it's a waste. Otherwise, everything is waste, and you will say, body will say, take it out, excrete. But then the body will not get energy. So body has to transform. And once you transform, you will be using it and you will be storing it, because not everything you need right away. If imagine you can only get energy while it's there, it will be very inefficient system. You will be always eating. Input is constantly going on. So body has these three, and this whole dosha things is the process mechanism which is really regulating all these things. And this can be found in not just us, all living form. And as we were talking about the planets, and also not only living, but also the non-living. And this is what we mean by that. So if you really see from Vata Pitta Kapha point of view, so you can see the process of, you can say, the origin, destruction of the universe, that is kind of governed by Vata. And when we are talking of this transformation, continuous change, leading towards this manifestation of the, because what happens is, we have even learned in science that yes, whether you say Big Bang theory or whatever, the universe is created. Universe has a constant life. Universe will end one day, and then the new life will begin. So this mechanism, this is input and output kind of first step. But then the second step is the transformation, means you have to reach from your beginning of the life to the end of the life. And this continuous change, which is leading towards this whole mechanism, this is Pitta. And the storage of the energy, or you can say the constant supply of energy, which will ensure this mechanism is going on in the universe, is given by Kapha. Now, this may help us in understanding that, sometimes we wonder, how come these, such a heavy bodies, whether planets or satellites and this and that and all kind of things in your universe, they are moving at such a high speed. Where is the energy coming from? This is the same mechanism. That is the reason why we are so much connected with the universe. That is the mechanism why, when we say the hallmark of universe is oneness, where this oneness comes from, because this energy is same. That's how we are connected. Distance doesn't matter. If you recall, we talked about time, space, time. So space, time means space is unlimited. It doesn't matter. Like we say in meditation, distance doesn't matter. You may be sitting in different cities altogether, but when you do in a group meditation, your energy combines, because distance has no meaning for energy. The other way around, you look at it, your lifespan may be different for different organism, or depends what you're looking at. So a small mosquito or fly, right? They may have a lifespan of only a couple of days. We as human, we may say 80 to 100 years. So we are talking in terms of decades. You look at the universe, you're talking about billions of years. Does not matter where you belong, whether it's a short term, mid, long, whatever, the steps are same. You need these three mechanisms, and all these three mechanisms will be taking place. If it is a fly, within 2 days, everything is happening. The input-output mechanism, the change, the transformation, and then the energy part, using and storing. If it is a plant, some plants, small ones, And you look at the big trees like sequoia tree in US, they are more than 1,000 years old. So you can have a plant in your, garden, which may last only a season, and then you have trees which is more than 1,000 years old. So does not matter how much is your lifespan, the mechanism remains the same. That means these energy, because these doshas, vata, pitta, kapha, these are fundamental block. This is how the energy, this is how this whole mechanism is maintained in the world, in the universe. Living or non-living doesn't matter. That means obviously it works for whether we talk of us humans, we talk of animals, we talk of plant kingdom, or whether you talk of all the bodies, which is the universe, non-living, we call it. So if it is so important, if this is what makes it, you can say, the backbone, these are the processes, and these are the balancing act. This is the fundamental mechanism which will balance. So question may come that why we call doshas. Why are they called dosha? Dosha means error. Dosha means mistake, right? So why we call dosha? So if the state is of balance, if everything is perfect as per the ideal condition, what it is supposed to be, it's called Tridhatu. Dhatu means root or foundation of any entity. But you call doshas, which is reflection of not balance, but imbalance, which will lead to destruction. Now, in other words, if between these three steps, these three forces, if there is a perfect balance, we may call it Tridhatu. But when there is a disturbance, they are not balanced, it's called Tridoshas. And that's the reason it's called, popularly known as Tridoshas, because we are always referenced to deviation from the norm or deviation from the ideal state. But if they are all ideal, everything what it's supposed to be is Tridhatu. Now, different, like these three doshas have different dominant areas. So kapha will have stomach as the dominant area, they're dominant in that. Pitta, duodenum, and that area, and Vata is the large intestine prominently. So they have their primary location, dominant locations. And again, it's not like random or something. Their effect, their like connectivity, obviously they are maintaining the whole body. But where is that dominant? Then yes, they do have. Now, that is the difference, and that's their dominance. We talked about, if you remember, circadian rhythm, we were talking about a clock. So the question comes, is there a time for doshas? Yes. Because in Ayurveda, you may have heard clock is divided into pahar, right? And so that's why the whole 24 hours is divided in this span. So you will see here in this clock that how the time is divided. Interval of 4 hours. So that's why you will have 6 intervals of 4 hours each. Now, if we can align our daily rhythm in tune with the nature, that means circadian rhythm, then we can support, your day-to-day life, day-to-day activity with respect to the dominant energy inside and around you. Each day, same rotation. to live a life, or in other words, if you say you want to switch from a stressful, turbulence life to a very calm and stable life, follow the circadian rhythm, follow the Ayurvedic clock. Now, we have talked about in terms of, when we were talking about meridians, we talked about, and we saw how different meridians are active, more prominent in certain time of the day. This is Ayurvedic clock. And you can see that Pitta between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's dominant in those two 4-hour window. When you talk of Vata, it is 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And Kapha 6 to 10 a.m., similarly 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, again, it is ideal that we do meditation, pranayam, exercise, what we call Brahma Muhurat, early morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever is possible in your lifestyle. Some people say, how can I get up every day 4 a.m.? My life is so busy and all that. Understand. But if not 4, can you do it at 5? If not 5, can you do it at 6? The idea is as close as you can go to the ideal stage. If someone is doing at 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning, is it bad? No, if that's the only time you are getting, fine. But if you say, oh, I didn't know that, but yes, I can switch from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. My lifestyle allows me, then why not? Because the body is functioning. If we support the body, it's better. So it is expecting you to be ready to go to bed around 8 p.m. so that by 10 o'clock you are in deep sleep. If someone is sleeping at midnight, whether you're a student or your lifestyle, whatever. So if you are going to bed at midnight or even later than that, sometimes students do it, frequent observation. So you can imagine now you're fighting against the clock. You're trying to go against, that means obviously it won't be optimal. That means your system will not function optimally. So is it right or wrong? Is it a must? No. But should we not switch, considering how important this is? Considering that this is the mechanism which is balancing in our system, in our body, the forces that is governing our all the systems in our body. Doesn't matter which way you do it, which way you look at it, all the systems will be falling in one of those 3 categories. The input-output mechanism, transformation, and energy. You're producing, you're storing. If this mechanism, it's a very delicate mechanism. So when we are measuring this, and of course, whatever time of the day you measure, there may be influence based on the time of the clock. Again, we have talked about BioWell device before. Obviously, it measures, so that's how I keep checking mine, because I keep researching, is it shifting with time of the day, month to month, or I've been comparing for last 2 years how it is, switching. So you will see a pattern. There are different ways how you can find what body type you are, because in Ayurveda there is a body type, and then what is the balance between Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. There is a easy way. It's called Nadi Pariksha. You can, if you are learn, and so you can do your own, but typically you should go to a master who's dedicated, those people who are into this, doing it for a long time. You need those kind of experts. to really know more about your body type and all. But once you know, you can analyze and you can adjust your lifestyle much easily. Because then you will see what's happening or what's not happening, where you are having issues, what kind of issues, and then you can say how to balance. Today, we are not getting into detail of how to balance, but obviously there are different pranayam for each one of them. There's different yogasana, there's different diet. There's different kind of, like the chutneys we make at home, and there are different combinations you can make depending on which one you want to work on, which depends on which one is going out of balance. And it's not like out of balance means like sometimes you see with other blood pressure or things like those, it could be way off. Between the three, the balance is pretty close, so a little bit of off, right? Deviation of a couple of percentage points is huge. So don't expect that, okay, one of mine will be way off and other two here. No, the difference, because the whole mechanism is dependent on them. So our body takes care of it. It cannot just go, just like the pH of your, in the body, in the blood or in the system. Very tight range. The pH of our body doesn't go from all the way to as acidic or say 14 to alkaline. No, it's a very tight range around 7. Just 0.5, 0.4 one side and 0.3, 0.4 the other side. That's all it's moving between. Otherwise, it could be fatal. So that's what it means. The balance or a little bit of imbalance creates a lot of issues. So if we stay with it, align with it, yes, you can improve your health. You can improve, as we said before, it's mental, emotional, your spiritual life, physical, everything will be impacted. Now, all three have 5 subtypes. Now, we just talked about that how Vata is so important compared to the other two, because it is more than 50% influential of combined the other two. So if we only look at those 5 subtypes, what do we see here? Pranavayu, Udanavayu, Samanavayu, Vyanavayu, and Apanavayu. And this is what we talked in the last session. And that is why I mentioned we will see in the last slide the connectivity from the previous one. So that's why we are coming like from one direction. We talked about this, we talked about the Panchabhutas and all, and now we are going to the main Tridoshas and trying to understand, okay, these are subtypes. The level higher than this is Tridoshas, and that's where Kapha, Pitta, Vata comes into play. Of course, this is Vata, and other two also have 5 subtypes. But you can see that why it is so important. As we were talking in the last session, the importance of Pranavayu, Dhanvayu, because if Vata is so important, you can imagine these 5, which is contributing to so many factors, health issues, mental, emotional, and all that, so critical for us. Now, the best part is when we do meditation, we are taking care of this automatically without you being aware of it. So someone can say, oh my God, it looks so complex. I don't like, it's overwhelming. I don't want to get into so many details and all. Perfect. This is only for you to understand that when you're doing meditation, you are actually working on all this without you knowing. Of course, you may have the full wisdom, the understanding, and you may be very well aware of it. What I mean here is you don't have to keep in mind that I have to work on pranavayu or I have to work on this. No, do your meditation, it balances automatically. That is another reason why I highly recommend Anulom Vilom. And you must have already guessed that, yes, it is connected to one of the 3 and it brings balance to you. So you see these pranayam or meditation, they are all tuned towards purifying, bringing balance, unblocking anywhere the energy is blocked. All those things which no tablet medicine, no, you cannot go to a pharmacy and say, hey, give me this which can do this energy, and the person will say what? Because obviously there is no tablets or any medicine in allopathy which can do such things so effectively, so simply. So masters, this is connecting back to your meditation, pranayam, your whole wisdom, that why it is so important, that if we understand, you will understand why to do meditation. So next time, if you are having difficulty in getting up early in the morning, or you are debating, should you continue meditation or drop, you have other things, this will help you in understanding whether to increase the time or go the other way around. Because you will see, without you doing anything other than the, say, anapanasati, or basic meditation, alom vilom, just yoga, how your body, which sometimes we neglect big time, is on daily basis, we are bringing it back to optimum level, the balancing state, just by doing this. So masters, continue your meditation, pranayam, yoga, don't leave it, educate others, promote, again, by sharing, not by forcing someone, but by sharing. And this is the beauty, that why we see wonders after getting into these daily rituals of meditation, pranayam, and yoga. So thanks everyone. We will, as I mentioned, only will go into the sub 5 of 1 and vata, because obviously it's one of the most important. So if you have any question regarding what we just discussed today, please feel free to ask. And if you have any of your experience, please share. Thank you. You can raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself.
Yep, it seems no hand raises, Gaurav sir. So let's go for meditation, and maybe whatever the time that you wanted to go for, we have quite a good time today.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Vindhya ma'am, you are unmuted.
Hello, Gaurav sir, thank you. Very informative session. I was cooking and trying to listen, so hopefully I don't know if I missed something. That this vata you called, I think in Telugu we call it vatam. Since like our parents used to always say that like body heat is generated. We used to try to translate in English, and it never matched with anything that other people here would say. So that is what so there's a lot of heat in the body, that's what they used to say, and there were certain foods recommended to kind of get it down. In winters you have to eat this, and summers you have to eat. Is it related to acidity also, like the heat when they're saying?
So yes, Vindhyaji, for sure, when you eat different kind of food, it can cause acidity, which is one element of it. And depending on the type of food you are eating, if it is more acidic, of course, it drinking as well, like tea, coffee, and things like those, it can cause acidity. So again, it's a balance in your the digestive system, which is simply the acidity part, but imbalance in kapha vata pitta is much higher, because then your whole system will go out of whack. So vata being the prominent one, yes, you will have a lot of factors which can go wrong directly because of this, and acidity certainly is one of it. Like our body will be working hard to overcome that. But certainly, when we talk of these doshas, this is much more, you can say, impactful, harm-wise also, otherwise also. So that's why it's important that we keep them balanced. That's okay, Vidya ma'am, but I hope you got your answer that you were looking for. Okay, thanks, Vindhya ji, for confirming. Yes, Upendra ji, please, you may unmute yourself.
Upendra sir, you need to unmute yourself.
I got it. Yeah, sorry, Gauraji. Thank you so much. A lot of wisdom. My question is that when you go to see a Ayurvedic doctor, they classify you as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And looking at the diagram, the clock, Ayurvedic clock, are you saying, or the clock is saying that we have all the three elements, three types, or is the body type is only one type?
So, Upenji, let me answer in two parts. So, first is the clock. The clock that we saw, it tells us that during this time of the day, which of the three will be dominant. Okay. And it will be for everyone. Doesn't matter you, me, and whosoever, because that is a system. Now, your first part, which is when we go to your Ayurvedic doctor, and when someone says you are, say, Kapha or Pitta, in all probability, I'm understanding the person must be saying that your dominant or the imbalance is in this one, because we all have all three. We cannot live with just one.
Right.
The body, any mechanism needs all three, and there is a balance. Say roughly to understand, let's say 33.3%, 33.3, 33.3. But if one of them becomes 35%, that means the other one has to go down, because then only someone, you can, total is 100, you cannot change that. If someone is taking more share, means someone else is depreciating, means you are less than the division. Whichever is out of balance, whichever is higher or going out of balance is the one which will cause you the issue. That will be different in person to person. So you may have the issue in Kapha, I may have in Pitta, someone else can have in Kapha, Pitta, whichever, like that is individual. But we all have all three.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yes, Chris, please, you may unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much explaining this. I was wondering, how do we identify what is imbalanced in our body?
So in a way, like how can anybody find out that in your particular case, what is that percentage of imbalance or balance, whichever way, right?
Correct.
So the best way is if you have, a person, whether Ayurvedic doctor or someone who's, practitioner, then that person can tell you. That's the best way, because it requires a lot of expertise in this field. There are other instruments which can measure, like one is BioWell that I use. So when I'm scanning, I'm also getting readings of my the three doshas, and it will give me the percentage and the absolute number. They are related one way or the other. It's just a calculation. So from the number, you can see that, okay, so I know which one is my dominance, and then accordingly, I'll have to balance my whatever diet, lifestyle. There is also one instrument called Nadi Pariksha, and that can also give you your, again, imbalance and all those things. So there are some instruments in the market. Again, someone has to be using it, means someone as a practitioner. But there are some what we call just Ved, in olden time we used to say, and based on their experience, they will check your pulse and they will tell you. So if someone practice, yes, it is possible. There's a way for male and female, it is left hand or right hand, but you need some practice or learning under some guidance. Then you can check your own pulse and have a fairly decent idea that which one is more dominant.
Would they be changing time to time?
I've been like measuring my own for the last 2 years, and I do see the little bit going up and down between the three, but my dominance is still the same. So if my dominance is kapha, is still the kapha, a very slight gap, but that difference time to time, like if I'm saying percentage wise, like 0.2, 0.3 here and there will vary, but it is not, at least not in my case, that I have seen today I'm imbalanced in kapha and tomorrow here and day after there. I haven't seen that in my case. It's the trend is same in general. Individual readings may go a little bit here and there, but when you see the trend over a long period, it's very close range that the body functions. If you are working on something, if you change all of a sudden some lifestyle, right? For example, somebody is in university and your lifestyle is something. Now you finished your university, you have gone, say example, you picked up a job and your lifestyle changes completely. You may see some variation, but otherwise, without those external factors, it should be, unless some other physical or environmental factors are coming in your life.
So once we get tested and then afterwards, can we use these machines to test it out?
Absolutely. Like if you have your own, then of course there's no issue. But if you are going to someone, then yes, if you have your regular session with that person, with that practitioner, you will see very soon in couple of whatever frequency you visit, that where do you stand. The best part is it is natural. The remedies will be coming natural, like naturopathy, right? So you will have your either lifestyle change, diet change, not like you have to take a lot of allopathic medicine, which has a lot of side effects. So that is the beauty of knowing your doshas and working on it, because it will, in fact, avoid you getting into some kind of physical health issue, mental, emotional issue. So it will avoid you getting into a situation where you have to take allopathic medicine. That's the beauty of it.
What is the cure like? What do we use to rectify it in general? Is it the food, or is it like meditation, or what are the recommended tools afterwards to balance?
Chris, it's all the above.
Right. Okay.
So the reason I'm saying this is there is a particular pranayam for each type. There are yoga asanas for each type. Of course, the food for each type. So you may have a combination. You can say, hey, I can't do meditation. Give me something what I can do. Okay. You may pick the diet, you may pick the yoga, or you may pick only diet. So it's totally up to you, but options are all around.
That's good to know.
Yeah, you can pick, because see, again, it is all connected to Panchbhutas. So, go back to nature, walk bare feet on the grass, walk in the fresh air, because most of the time we are sitting in our house, especially North America is bad in that. We are not exposed to the nature so much, either driving in the office or home. Just going back to the nature, especially when weather permits, going on hiking, walking, and then your food habits, lifestyle can bring you back easily.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Chris. Thanks for your question, because it's not just you. It may help so many people, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I guess now we can go for meditation because there is no more questions. So, masters, let's get ready for meditation. We have half an hour. So, relax. Close your eyes. And first, let's do 7 rounds of deep breathing, 7 cycles. If you know Nom-Vilom, you may do that. Otherwise, slow inhale, slow exhale. That's 1 cycle. And repeat it, make it 7. So deep breathing, as slow as it is comfortable to you. Very rhythmic, not with a jerk, not too fast, not too slow, whatever is comfortable to you. Slow exhale, slow inhale. No pause. As soon as you complete inhalation, start exhaling. Slow, whatever is comfortable to you. Exhale, inhale. Please complete 7 cycles. Dear masters, after you complete, let's relax the body as well, because now your brain is relaxed. Relax your facial muscles, your cheeks. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Relax your back, but keep it straight so that the cosmic energy flows freely. Now, relax your hands and your legs and keep them in cross posture. Now, before we get into deep meditation, masters, let's bring our affirmation to our subconscious mind. So for 1 minute, feel it. Feel the emotions that you would feel when your affirmations have come true. Think of your affirmation and feel as if they have come true. and feel that emotion. The emotion of joy, happiness. Just feel it. Now, masters will start observing our breath. So, no more thoughts, no emotions, no feelings. Start observing your breath as you inhale, as you exhale. Slow, steady, absolute normal, natural breath. Masters, let's rub our palm together. Place the fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly, very slowly, take your fingers off from your eyes and open your eyes. Come back to your normal self. Open your eyes, take your time. Okay, Masters. So we'll meet next Wednesday, same time, continuation of the same theme.